I want to thank Jackery for sponsoring this video. If you're looking for a way to charge and power your devices on your next outdoor adventure, give Jackery's line of portable power stations a look. I have personally been using the Jackery Explorer 240 and it has been doing a great job at powering my off-grid office and keeping my camera equipment charged and ready to go. For a more in-depth look at the Jackery Explorer 240, check out the link at the end of this video. Alright guys, so we're at my buddy's house. This is where I've been staying for a few days while the Kia Telluride is being worked on by Wanderlust Overland. It's the weekend and so they're off today. So I am going to take this opportunity to get a project done on the old Ford that I've been wanting to do for a while. And our little mishap where I got stuck in the mud this last week just made me decide that I needed to get it done even sooner. Now, I've had stuff mounted to the Diamondback already. I've got my high lift and shovel and axe plus a solar panel and everything already connected to the Diamondback. But one of the other things I've been wanting to do is get my recovery boards, get them mounted as well to the Diamondback. But I hadn't come up with a way I wanted to do it yet. I've been happy with the Tread Pros, but I don't want to necessarily be married to the Tread Pros. If I were to break them, I would like to have the opportunity to choose whatever recovery board brand that I want. But they're all made just slightly differently, and they have holes in different places that you can use to mount them. So what I don't want is to drill holes into the Diamondback and have a mounting system that's only going to work for the Tread Pros. I want a mounting system that would be versatile and allow me to kind of make adjustments and be able to mount any type of recovery board that I wanted. So I came up with the idea by watching a video, and I'll post a link to that video up in the corner. He's from another YouTube channel where a guy made a complete roof rack for his Subaru out of Unistrut. I've got some Unistrut right here because it just so happens that my buddy's an electrician and they use this stuff regularly in the electrician field. I think they also use it pretty heavily in HVAC and stuff like that. But basically it's a very versatile mounting system. It allows you to create and build a lot of things out of it. Pretty much if your mind can think it up, you can build it out of Unistrut. It's just a really versatile system, and though, like I said, those that are electricians or HVAC guys will know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you're not familiar with Unistrut, I just suggest you do some research on it because you might find some applications of your own in your own overland rigs that this will be very useful. I'm actually going to be also using this in the Telluride on the inside to mount my fridge slide and to create a safety barrier for the dogs and my gear. But for this particular, and since we're going to use it to mount the recovery boards, I'm going to two lengths here that I've painted black so they just kind of look nice on the Diamondback. But we're going to mount these two lengths on the Diamondback just like this, spaced apart. And then we will have the C channel. You can see here, we got a C channel that they've got spring nets, specially designed spring nets for this Unistrut that allows you to kind of slide around and adjust things however you need. So that'll give me a lot of flexibility in not only mounting these recovery boards, but in the case that I break these recovery boards and decide to go with a different brand moving forward, I should just be able to make some adjustments and be able to mount any type of recovery board that I need to the truck without having to mess with drilling any more into the Diamondback cover. Alright, so now I'm just kind of figuring out the spacing that I want these two pieces of Unistrut. Ideally, I kind of want to have the recovery boards as close to this edge as I possibly can without interfering with where my jack is and everything when I open the cover. But mainly I want that is from a leverage standpoint. If I have it way out here or as far out this way, then the struts on the cover when it opens up, that's going to be a lot more work on them than if I can push that weight closer to the hinges. So I'm going to try, like I said, I'm going to try to just go with being very close to this edge without actually, like I said, interfering with the jack. Now, another thing I need to think about on the Diamondback cover is I need to open it up and look and see where the support braces are. What I don't want to do is I'm going to drill holes through the Diamondback at each end of this pieces of Unistrut, and what I don't want to do is end up drilling through and coming into one of the support braces. I want to make sure that I come into one of the areas where there is no support brace. So I also, like I said, I just kind of want to adjust accordingly for that. but then I'll also need to adjust, or figure out and make sure that I kind of want the recovery boards to look nice, and I want them to be, fairly well centered on here. All right, so I've been doing some figuring up here, trying to figure out how to get these boards centered on the Diamondback and make sure my brackets are spaced evenly apart. One of the challenges that I had is I can't just measure from this edge in, is because of the shape of the bed. The Diamondback conforms to the shape of the bed, so it comes in from the center, so it kind of comes in. So what I had to do is measure back here on the Diamondback, all the way across, and up here on the Diamondback, and find the centers. And then I ran a piece of tape using a piece of flat bar that my buddy had in his shop. I used a piece of flat bar as a straight edge and ran a piece of tape down the center to give me a center point all the way down that I could use to measure off. So now I'm doing all my measurements off the center, this direction and this direction. And I've got the recovery boards up here, and I've got my 2 pieces of Unistrut, and I've got it figured out how far off center each one has to be to get it where I want, and so that everything is centered perfectly, or close to perfectly on the Diamondback. So okay, so we're getting to the point now where I'm making the little studs that will go up through the recovery boards that I'll screw into. I've already made one. As you can see, it goes in and it fits within the C channel of that. And basically what it is I'm just taking one of these little spring nuts, and I am screwing in some all thread. I'll have to cut this shorter. I'll cut the same length as that one, but it screws into the spring nut, which then goes in, and the spring pushes the nut up against the C-rails, and it will go in. And then I'm just kind of giving it a quick little tack with the welder. Not a great welder, but it's good enough to get these to go in and basically hold and give me a stud that goes up. So what I'm trying to do is get these done and get everything kind of positioned and laid out. As you can see, nothing's screwed to the Diamondback yet. I want to have these done so I can put the recovery boards on, just to make sure all my measurements are good and everything's going to work before I go ahead and drill into the Diamondback and set those rails on permanently. Alright, so I've got the recovery boards up here. I've got my Unistrut laid. Everything is set on the marks that I've put in the tape, and everything is lined up looking good. My studs are coming up through the center holes here like I want. And they're centered, so I think it all looks good. So I'm ready to start going ahead and drilling the holes into the Diamondback so that I can go ahead and get this Unistrut mounted. I'm going to start with a small drill bit, and then we'll step up to a 3/8 drill bit for the mounting hardware that I've got. Alright, so now that I've got the pilot holes drilled, I'm going to go ahead and remove everything here and go ahead and finish drilling these out. And then we'll put silicone it and bolt it down. Alright, so I'm working on bolting these down. You can see I already got one down, so I'm working on this other one. Making sure everything lines up with my marks. I'm putting down some silicone. Putting down silicone to make sure that we don't end up with a leak in our cover where we're mounting these through. So we're putting down plenty of silicone to to clog up any potential problems. Stuff is messy. Messy, messy, messy. Alright, so we'll put our bolts through. Alright, so we got our bolts through there. Our lid back on our silicone so we don't end up with that all over the place. Alright, so we'll get our bolts started here, our nuts started. Alright, get that hand tight on there as much as I can. Same with this upper one. I want to get these hand tightened on all the way to where they're snug against the lock washer. So if I get them stuck against the lock washer, then I can just use my impact wrench on the other side. Make sure that I need to adjust. Make sure everything's right on the other side. Now I can literally just hold the nut and the lock washer will catch the nut and lock everything down with the impact wrench on the other side. So there, now everything's locked down tight. We've got everything mounted. Now I can go ahead and grab my wrench and just make sure everything's torqued down good. Alright, those are mounted on there solidly. Now we bring that down and we should be able to just gonna wipe off any excess silicone here. Alright, so this should finish up everything. We got everything bolted down. Our studs are in place, so we should be able to just slide these recovery boards up and over these studs just like that. And then we've got my little knobs that I made, and you can find knobs on Amazon. I just made these because I didn't want to wait. I didn't want to wait for knobs to come in from shipping, so I just quickly made these, and I think they will work just fine. So I'm just going to screw them down. Give them a good crank down. Screw this one down here. Now one thing I may do is shorten up these studs at some point. They don't know that they can need to be quite this long, and that would make things a lot quicker to take them on and off. But anyways, there, now they're cranked on. Everything seems to be firmly connected, so I think these will ride real nice. This will be a lot better. Like I said before, I just had them underneath the Diamondback, and either one or two things, they were either in my way when I was trying to put other gear in there, or they were buried under something when I needed them. So having them up on top here will definitely make them a lot easier to access, especially if I get stuck, or when I get stuck, because I seem to get stuck quite often. But anyways, they'll be easy to access, and when they're muddy or if they're dirty, I don't have to throw them back inside the truck all muddy and filthy. I can just throw them back up on here, and that'll be a lot nicer. But anyways, a nice little project that I've been wanting to get done for quite some time. I'm really looking forward to coming up with some more ideas for this Unistrut. I think it's I think it's kind of an untapped resource in the overland community. I think once people start really looking at it and getting some ideas of their own, we'll start seeing more and more people starting to use this in their own setups. But anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this little video on how I installed my recovery boards to my Diamondback cover, and we'll catch you guys again outside.